And in today's episode of The Crowded Market, we have Lee Glynn, a top YouTube strategist, and we talk about how businesses can harness the power of YouTube in order to generate leads.
I know you're into country and Western music. So if you've got a Spotify playlist which gets updated every month and it's country and Western, you're more likely to just keep listening, which is great. And this is a new country and Western song that I like. But all of a sudden it throws a Metallica song in there or a Queens of the Stone Age song in there. You're like, I don't want this. So as long as you're creating series which is relevant to what your specific audience wants, then that's the perfect thing, because you all of a sudden become known for that one thing.
We also talk about the one thing that businesses can do overnight to start generating business through YouTube.
Basically, the first thing that I always suggest or always do when I audit a YouTube channel is you go on the YouTube homepage, and quite often it's the last thing for businesses to optimize. For example, their banners don't look good, they have no consistency in thumbnail or messaging or videos.
And finally, how you, as a B2B marketeer, can tailor your title, description, and thumbnail in order to build a dedicated audience on YouTube.
I'm about to drop a bit of a bomb here on the YouTube SEO world. You have YouTube consultants who think YouTube SEO is completely pointless, and then you have other consultants who solely rely on that. Neither are correct. In my experience, and I've been doing this since 2016, running YouTube channels for organizations, I've seen search and browse all kinds of different traffic and how websites use YouTube. So if we break down the SEO part, what the YouTube SEO does is...
Enjoy the episode. Lee Glynn, thank you very much for coming all the way down from Liverpool today to come and have a chat with us.
Thank you very much for having me. It's nice to be back in Bristol drinking deconstructed coffee.
Yeah, you've had a little go at us about our pretentious nature around coffee.
Yeah, it was interesting. Just give me the coffee in a cup.
So, Lee, we've not known each other for very long, but it'd be good to kind of give us a little introduction as to who you are and what you do.
Sure. So I manage YouTube channels for organizations and basically give them the strategy and tell them what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and work across multiple industries and help them basically earn more money from their YouTube channel.
So I guess my initial question is, a lot of businesses that we see typical kind of big business YouTube channel,
sure,
not getting any views, 70 subscribers who are probably employees anyway.
Sure.
What is one thing that they can do overnight to solve that and increase viewership?
Sure. So basically the first thing that I always suggest or always do when I audit a YouTube channel is you go on the YouTube homepage, and quite often it's the last thing for businesses to optimize. So for example, their banners don't look good, they have no consistency in thumbnail or messaging or videos. So I use the metaphor that I like to talk about is like the storefront or the shop front. If you went into a coffee shop, for example, I went into a coffee shop today, very well presented, very clean. They had a consistent branding, which was great. And, all jokes aside, I did enjoy the experience. But if you go into a coffee shop and the chairs are up on the table, there's coffee beans on the floor, there's cups everywhere, it's messy, you're not going to trust that. And that extends to business as well. For example, when someone comes and they watch one of your videos and they're considering buying from you, and there's a huge consideration process, they'll check out your YouTube channel, they'll check out the links in the bio, and then potentially go to your website. So you have to make sure that first storefront looks as good as it can. So if I'm going to give any advice, and one of the only pieces of advice that you take from this is make sure that your YouTube homepage looks on brand as possible.
Something that we always see, mate. Like we see businesses, these huge businesses they've got strong brands in places like LinkedIn,
sure,
and other social platforms. Their website's always on point. They've got incredible brand guidelines, but something seems to slip when it comes to YouTube. And it's something that I talk often about with our editor, Rob, is they should almost have a set of brand guidelines for video only. And some businesses do. And it's that age-old thing of seeing that huge business with 70 subscribers and they're uploading a video every week, which is like an hour-long webinar.
Sure, and that's another quick fix as well. When you, like you just mentioned there, that it seems like YouTube seems to be an afterthought for businesses because they've got this content or they've done a 1 hour webinar and they're like, we'll just put it on YouTube and they're wondering why they're only getting 4 views. People aren't really interested in that. And we can go into that fix and stuff as well, if you like. But YouTube shouldn't be a dumping ground. It should be you should put the exact same effort that you put into every area of your marketing.
100%.
Which is what you guys are so good at when you create those podcasts for businesses. They look good, they look clean. It's going to generate trust.
Bless you. And I did not pay you to say that.
No, you didn't. No,
well, thank God.
Okay.
Maybe let's have a little look at the anatomy of a YouTube video. There's more than uploading a video. Sure. As you mentioned and elicited to, there's thumbnails, titles, descriptions, tags. Can we have a little breakdown? Like, what's the importance of these? They all need to work in synergy, surely. If you want your business to have a podcast that looks like this, then you need to work with us to produce it. To work with us, link is in the description.
Sure. So the YouTube SEO thing, so I'm about to drop a bit of a bomb here on the YouTube SEO world. It's one of the most contentious subjects on YouTube. People think that you're either in two schools. You have YouTube consultants who think YouTube SEO is completely pointless, and then you have other consultants who solely rely on that. Neither are correct. So in my experience, and I've been doing this since 2016, running YouTube channels for organizations, I've seen search and browse all kinds of different traffic and how websites use YouTube. So if we break down the SEO part, what the YouTube SEO does is when you have a YouTube video, you have to give YouTube, especially if you're a new channel, you have to give it context. So for example, if your channel, your channel is on making pizzas, for example. If you just put a recipe out there, or you just put a pizza video out there without any kind of context about what the video is about, or the meta tags, the YouTube description or the title, YouTube has absolutely no idea what your video is about, and it has to crawl the subtitles, and that takes a little bit of time. Might take a little bit to rank, etc. But if you optimize your video and then you produced 4 to 5 to 6 videos of that, YouTube all of a sudden goes, oh, I know what your whole ethos, what your whole channel is about. And then it pushes that to those people who are interested in pizza because they've either searched for it or they've watched those videos. So that's where that YouTube SEO thing comes in. So if we go to the next step with chapters, let's say, for example, you have we'll come back to the webinar thing, but say, for example, you're a B2B company and you help with problems with software. If you answer multiple questions within one long podcast, each chapter has its own SEO value. So if you optimize that for search, you have the opportunity to appear for someone who is solution aware, and we'll come to solution aware and problem aware in a minute, solution aware, and they know exactly what they're looking for. They type your solution in and then you come up. You've got 6 different opportunities to appear for that. And the same goes for Google and ChatGPT as well, because those chapters are searchable and those sections of your video are searchable. So that's where that YouTube SEO comes in. Next up, we've got the titles. So if you title how to make a pizza, what's the difference between a V8 and V10 engine? You're basically screwed there, aren't you? So you have to be like, this is how to make a pepperoni pizza from scratch or with some kind of sourdough if you're a search-based channel. And that's where those titles come in. So that's the YouTube SEO kind of thing. You've got to make sure your titles, your descriptions, and your meta tags are all relevant to the subject that you're talking about. Mm. Here's a quick hack for you as well. YouTube doesn't always get the translations correct. So what I do is get the full transcript, throw it in ChatGPT, or choose your AI and say, just fix the grammar on this and throw it back in, make sure it's correct. And then you've got a fully optimized video there.
Yeah.
There's just a quick little hack. Especially works if you are a B2B and you appeal to different countries as well. That's a really handy one.
Yeah, that is true.
It doesn't always get it right.
Is it pretty, have you seen it's pretty consistent at doing that as well, I imagine? The GPT.
It can be. So I work with brands who sell all over the world, and sometimes I have to get it approved. And then after about 10 goes, they were like, this is fine. It's okay.
Okay. So it's all good if all these work in synergy, title, description, tags, all well and good. You create all that and it's well, but what if the content's trash?
So this is the thing. But that's the thing as well. So we've got, when you go on YouTube, YouTube's an attention game. When you open up YouTube, you're either searching for something or you're interested in browsing something. We all do it. Like, let's go on YouTube when we should be working. And I'm going to watch this golf video. I don't play golf, but I want to see someone hit a ball over a fence or over a lake or into a shark's mouth. But instantly, if you create a thumbnail which is interesting, I hit 12 golf balls into a shark's mouth. Who's not going to click on that?
Yeah.
So it's got to be interesting. With search as well, if your if you search for something on YouTube, say for example, how to make a pepperoni pizza, and your thumbnail looks like you've shot it with a potato, you're not going to generate trust there, and someone's going to click on it and go, this is actually garbage, and then click away. So your thumbnail has to look nice, your presentation has to look good as well. It's all very, very important. So for example, if you search for a video, this is something that a lot of businesses don't understand. If your video is at top of search and all of a sudden drops to the bottom of search, it's because you're not delivering either on the title, the thumbnail, or the content. You don't get to the point.
Yeah.
So for example, we talked about when you did a quick introduction for me, it was like 6 seconds long. No one's interested in me. They're interested in the value that they can gain from this podcast, and they want to see the proof. That should be the same with your video as well. Can you do this thing? Is your title and thumbnail relevant to what they clicked on? If it is, you serve the purpose, they'll stay. And then they'll watch it. If they watch it, your video gets pushed.
Yeah. I think a lot of businesses that we work with specifically, I mean, they use YouTube as a dumping ground, and they're producing case studies and things like that, which are important. There's not a lot of value give content. Like there needs to be, we're always talking about it, like stop trying to sell all the time.
Sure.
It's not going to work. Nobody wants to watch this. Like they'll barely watch a 15-second advert on anything, let alone your 20-minute case study on why somebody should use you.
That's exactly it. So what you've also got to think about is with YouTube, people are actively searching for a reason to click away from you because they were so time poor. So here's one of the biggest problems that I see with webinars with companies, and I audited a company, which was a software company. When we did they were putting webinars out, which were hours long, Zoom call webinars, and they were getting 4, 5, 6, 7 views and wondering why that wasn't working. Again, the thumbnail looked like absolute garbage. It was a screenshot from a Zoom call. So here's the quick fix for that. If you have a webinar, you've got an hour-long webinar, 50% of that is, oh, can you introduce yourself, Steve? And can you hear me? And is my mic muted, etc. Chop that right down. And then from that 50%, 25% of that is probably actionable value. From that 25%, 12.5% of that is probably something that's actually real value that someone's going to want to listen to. So if you're doing a webinar, I would stress with businesses, instead of doing a webinar, get someone in to film a podcast and distill your actual core message down of the problem that you solve for them. Because I can almost guarantee you, the same way that everybody says, oh, that meeting could have been an email, that YouTube video could have been a 7-minute video instead of an hour-long video with people saying, is my mic on?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Like this, I've got the words tattooed on my arm. The best way to do it is to do it.
Cool.
And that is exactly from that analogy of this could have been an email. The amount of things that I sat in that just could have been an email.
That's
and
it.
Wasted my time.
But to your point with case studies are good, but in the context of how did we solve this problem for somebody? For example, if you are I just audited a company who do meta ads specifically for businesses. They were showing people how to set up meta ads, how to do this, etc. And they were appealing mainly to people who were never going to buy their product, and they weren't creating content for conversions, which we can touch on.
Yeah.
But what they switched to was how to make more money with meta ads. Now, if you're a business owner, you're going to watch that and go, this is great.
Yeah.
And then they show the people, we do this, we've done this, here's the proof. All of a sudden, you teach somebody how to do it, which is great. Let's say 100 people watch it. 75 people of that are going to apply that learning to their own business, which is fine. 25 people are going to tell somebody about it. And maybe 5 people are going to go, do you know what? This is too much work. Can you do it for me?
Yeah.
That's the benefit. And that's where the case study comes in, because it's the proof.
Yeah.
So for example, my LinkedIn, I've got the proof of all the clients that I work with.
Yeah.
And that's great, but you show that you've done it, you can do it, and then they can do it as well.
Yeah. An example of that, we had our CRM built by a fabulous company called CRM Crew. Found them on YouTube because the guy just did top tips on Monday CRM.
Yeah.
It was like, walked you through, you want to do this thing, you want to embed this automation into your CRM.
Sure.
This is how you do it. The video was about 9 minutes long, and about 5 minutes in, I went, fuck this, I'm bringing him.
Yeah, exactly. But that's great though. Yeah. That's exactly
which
what
worked perfectly, right? Like he gave the solution, but the solution's a little bit more complex than you think it is. You can do it yourself, but a lot of people, especially business owners like me and you, like we don't really have time to find a solution to every single problem we have, and you have to hire that person sometimes, right?
Exactly, yeah.
In terms of what you elicited to in terms of content for conversions, there's a fine line and a balance between, I guess, like I just said, selling and YouTube being used as a tool to create business. Like a lot of B2B companies don't even humor the idea of YouTube and the fact that it could bring them in business.
Yeah.
You're saying it can.
Absolutely. And the thing is, what you have to do is, I've done plenty of courses across YouTube, and Ed Lawrence, who's probably the biggest YouTube person, I took his course, and one of his things after 10 years I still didn't realize is we had to optimize for conversions, especially with business. So my background is in retail YouTube, which is everything you're selling, it needs to be there and there's a click through to the website. With business, what people seem to think is they create videos which go, look how great we are, look at all the cool things that we're doing. When in actual fact, they should say, look how great we can do this for you, which is exactly what you do. Like your videos are incredible. When people see your videos, they're like, I want that. So when I say optimize for conversions, you should be creating videos. Say if you create 6 videos, you're a new YouTube channel, you create 6 videos. One's a roast, one's like a roast of a company that is doing something that you know you can do better. One might be a case study, one might be a how-to, one might be a how to solve a specific problem. What you would then do is you would create trackable links in those YouTube videos, and you would see which ones led to the most calls or clicks to the website or conversions. Now, say for example, out of all of those 6 videos, the one video that's generated the most clicks might be your case study. The one video that's generated the most conversions might be your roast. So what I would then do is you would lean into that and go, right, we need to create a few more of these videos because they're the videos which are getting the conversions. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like, I mean, you've got to trial all the method. You're not going to know what works off the bat without creating.
But people think, well, let's create these content so it looks really good for us. Once you know what works, drill down on those videos because they're the ones that are actually bringing paid customers to your door.
Yeah.
So you might be talking about something that you solve a specific problem for. You might be talking about that you can do this better than anybody, or you help certain teams improve their workflow. And a business owner goes, I want that. And then all of a sudden you create more videos around that specific subject. Then all of a sudden you've changed your conversion rate from 1% to 2% because you're drilling down on the videos that are optimized for conversions.
And diving into that a bit more, what you said to me, even before we started recording actually, basically was regarding problem-based businesses and solution-based businesses. Sure. And the fact that the way that you're going to create an instant connection with a new viewer is by highlighting the problem that they have, right?
Sure. So solution-based people, for those who aren't aware, solution-based people are people who, I have this specific problem and I know that there are only 2 options that solve this problem for me. So I'm going to search for those 2 problems, search for those 2 providers. So it could be, let's say you're going to Tesco's or Asda, right? So I live in Liverpool, so it's called the Asda. So, right, I want to know where my nearest Asda is. Let's say, for example, you just want to know where I can get some bread. That's problem aware. Solution aware is which one do I go to, Tesco or Asda?
Yeah.
So your business needs to be more problem aware. So the example I said before about the meta ads, how do I solve this specific problem in meta ads? Only a small amount of people know what they're searching for, but a larger pool of people are searching for how do I make more money through my business through meta ads? That's problem aware.
And you're the solution. And that's when you show people,
try.
Right? We all try, right?
We try.
Some businesses have, we're in the podcast world, which means we generate series for businesses. Well,
Sure.
I'm always an advocate of saying to businesses that they need to see their business as a content house and that they're pushing out content that has value.
Absolutely.
So we're always an advocate of almost, especially across LinkedIn, which is a very different world, them starting the podcast as its own brand and it's by that company because it detaches an element of selling to it. Sure. A good example that we often use is, I'm not sure if you've seen it, is the Waitrose podcast, Dish.
I've not seen that, no.
Interesting. So
hang on, was Josh Homme on that from Queens of the Stone Age?
Very good.
No, I think you was.
Are you making a joke that I don't know who Queens of the Stone Age are?
Yeah, I nearly walked out. But I'm pretty sure he was on. Is that Nick Grimshaw?
Nick Grimshaw.
Yeah, Josh Homme was on that.
Interesting. Maybe I'll watch that episode.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's called Dish, but it's by Waitrose. Okay. A very subtle kind of I didn't immediately know who it was from. It's in the logo and the title, but small kind of in the corner, right? And I'm always kind of using that as an example. So, for these businesses in B2B, create a podcast that's like, if you're in technology, like tech specs by this company, right? And that it should be a value-based platform where you're kind of almost the go-to in that industry as well for knowledge.
Absolutely.
Do you think there's a place then for series-based stuff and for, businesses producing podcasts and things like that? Like people say it's saturated, but is it?
No, absolutely. So you mentioned LinkedIn. One of the best people on LinkedIn is Steve Toth, and he does SEO, and he subscribes to that kind of Gary Vee method where it's like you just give away all your knowledge for free, and eventually the people will buy from you. Again, what we just said before, you're giving away so much value that people go, do you know what? Can you just do it for me? So with the series content is incredibly good. It's incredibly valuable as long as you're niching down. Now, this is where we talk about the niche down part here. So creating series content is perfect. Now, the niche, or it's also known as positioning, it's also known as basically just knowing your audience. So, for example, the analogy I would use here is, say, if you've got a Spotify playlist, and I know you're into country and Western music. So if all of a sudden, if you've got a Spotify playlist which gets updated every month and it's country and Western, you're more likely to just keep listening, which is great. And this is a new country and Western song that I like. But all of a sudden it throws a Metallica song in there or a Queens of the Stone Age song in there. You're like, I don't want this. And then all of a sudden it starts throwing in 10 of those. You're like, I'm never listening to this playlist again.
Yeah.
So as long as you're creating series which is relevant to what your specific audience wants, then that's the perfect thing, because you all of a sudden become known for that one thing. Another analogy, a simpler analogy, is if you went to Pizza Hut and then every week you go to Pizza Hut with your family and it's really good, you really look forward to it. And then the next week you go and they're like, we only serve salads now.
Yeah.
You're like, we're not coming back here.
Yeah.
So, because who wants a salad instead of a pizza?
Well, not me.
Not me.
Not me.
There will be people.
Lee Glynn.
I've offended a lot of salad eaters out there.
I think businesses, the problem that we strike is that they don't, they can't see the tangible value of creating content that isn't sell.
Sure.
That's the problem, right? And, when we say, listen, just create something that's going to give somebody some knowledge, give somebody some value, and show that age-old horrific expression of thought leadership, right? Position your business as that. But because it's not direct sales type content or an advert, they don't see that they're going to get any reward from it. And, I think this is proof as to how you can use it as a reward system, right?
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's exactly what we're doing here. We're giving away value for free.
Yeah.
And we're giving away value that's actionable as well. So I think what a lot of businesses get wrong is when they do a podcast, they'll only give away so much value, which I totally understand. They'll give away only so much that the viewer is like, well, I didn't get the solution. I can work with you, but I still need to know what the point of this podcast was. For example, anybody who's watching this podcast will know 3 things already. 1, they need to optimize their YouTube homepage. Now they need to make a series which actually serves value, and they also need to optimize their videos. There's 3 actionable things you can take away from this.
Yeah.
They have to do, I think a lot of businesses are scared of giving away too much for free.
100%. Circling back round to content, I think retaining viewing and making sure people watch for a longer time is something that a lot of businesses struggle with, and it isn't thought of at all in B2B, probably. It's kind of left to content agencies or whatnot. What are some simple methods or simple ways that people can retain viewership?
Cool. So one of the best ways to retain the viewership is you deliver on the promise of the title and the thumbnail. So an example, again, we'll use the how to make sushi. So if you are creating a video on how to make sushi and then you start off going, thanks for watching last week because we've made roast chicken. Let's recap on the roast chicken. You're instantly going to lose viewers and you're going to lose your subscribers, and so you're going to lose YouTube's confidence, and they're going to stop pushing you. So the first step is the retention is the thumbnail and the title has to match what the video content is, and you need to get straight into it. The retention as well, especially for businesses, is you would start off by saying something. Most businesses think they've got this particular problem, when in actual fact, they've got this problem. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 ways to maximize this, 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 but also I'm going to show you how to do this, which no one else knows about. So instantly you've set the scene for what a video is about, the value that they're going to get, and you've set the expectation that there's going to be 3 points here, which I'm going to come away with and be able to use for my business. But then there's a bonus that nobody else knows about. Yeah, I'm going to watch that. The video is only 7 minutes long. Cool, I'll lock in for that. And then once they're in for that 7 minutes long video, you can then start funneling them into the hour-long videos because you're giving them so much value within those hours. So for example, podcasts, we mentioned webinars before. With a webinar, your webinar doesn't need to be an hour, but within that half an hour, there's probably a lot of gold there that you could use. Or you could just sit and do a podcast, map it out properly, and just deliver consistent value after consistent value. For example, in this podcast that we're talking about, we'll chapterize it and we'll say how to do this, how to do that, how to get the benefits here.
Yeah.
Well, we better add to.
Bloody hell, I hope so. Need to get something out of this, don't we?
Yeah. Do you know anyone who can do it for you?
I mean, we're always faced with that. Like, we're filmmakers by nature, and all of our job is to over-interview, to then line select, that glorious job that, you know, our editor Rob has to do, which is get those interviews into the edit and select the key parts, and you end up getting 3 minutes from an hour and 15's worth of footage.
Right, okay.
And it's understanding that that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's where the value is, right? And sometimes you've got to go searching through the haystack to find the needle.
Sure.
But you've got to capture the haystack in the first place in order to get it. So it's important that you cast the net wide.
Yep.
In those senses.
No, I absolutely agree.
KPIs. In B2B, it's a little bit different, right? So they're not going to get the viewership of Mr. Beast or, you know, whoever else is popular on YouTube these days.
Yeah.
You know, these are businesses. They're going to get a much smaller viewership, but we always say a dedicated viewership in that sense. If it's something that's quite niche, if it's in technology or sustainable engineering, these are people there are people out there who are interested in this stuff, right?
Absolutely.
What are some other measurable KPIs kind of beyond what we've spoken about that are quite important? Or
I hate to burst your bubble, but the only two KPIs that you should really be worried about on a B2B scale is views and conversions and clicks. That's basically it. And you're going to get a lot of people talking about click-through rates, and you're going to talk about the minutiae of retention, which is good, which is something to look at. But click-through rates are more important for, say, like vlogging or lifestyle. And because then you would optimize the thumb for that. The main thing you need to look at is conversions. Your thumbnail has to look good. Your title has to look good, and your content has to be great. You get that right, you start converting, and then you drill down on those specific videos. But views and conversions, they're the only two you should really be worried about.
Yeah. What in terms of quality then of content?
Oh, sure. Okay.
How important is that?
So I would ask you the same. So we have an infinite number of coffee shops to choose from. We're in Bristol, which is incredible coffee here, as we've discovered this morning. I had a choice of a lot of different coffee shops, the quality of which, like, I chose to go to this specific barista style one rather than a chain because it looked interesting. I was interested. You should approach your YouTube channel the same way. Now, I'm not saying that you should have a peacock in your thumbnail when you're talking about cars, or maybe you should, but like, it's got to be relevant. But the quality has to be like, wow, that car looks really good. So I really want to click on that. Like, I'm really interested in it. And then the quality of the content has to be great as well, because again, it's an attention game. Someone who's watching this has infinite number of videos from other people who work on YouTube to choose from. So the quality of this will dictate whether they stay or whether they leave. And that also ties into the quality of the camera, the microphone, the sound as well. So if you've got someone talking in their bedroom with a terrible background, with an unmade bed, are you going to really believe that they are a successful YouTube entrepreneur? Oh, yeah. Whereas are you going to believe the person who has a lovely setting like this, you know, an above average haircut like you, and then are we going to trust those people?
I think this is it, right? It is how you're perceived. Okay, like if you're a kid trying to be a YouTuber, it's a very different ball game, right? That's people like the relatability.
Yeah.
If you're a business,
sure,
you have to be perceived in a certain way that's gonna show trust and make sure that people trust you. And like you said, if your setup's wrong, if the way that you look and that you conduct your content is amateur, then there's almost a reflection that and a connotation that comes to that alongside the business. Maybe this business is amateur.
100%. And again, it's that storefront thing. It all ties together. Your hair looks great, by the way.
Yeah. No matter how much it's leaving me.
You look beautiful. You're a beautiful man. But it's all storefront. It looks good. Like you obviously work out. You're a good looking guy. People
I'm getting this bloke on more often.
you present well.
Yeah.
But if you send like someone else, it's going to sound savage. If you did not present yourself well, would that person have that confidence in you?
Yeah,
they wouldn't. So if someone gets on a call with me, you've seen my backdrop. I've got 2 YouTube plaques. I've got a nice backdrop with guitars, Queens of the Stone Age posters. I've got all sorts of things, but it looks professional.
Yes.
And then, it's that storefront thing that we keep coming back to.
Yeah, we recently we've moved into a studio in the centre of Bristol, and I've recently thought, we need to sort out my I'm having so many meetings, and I'm either in a gym or I'm somewhere else. And I thought, I'm not working out. I'm just there for the cafe. But then we changed the setup a little bit and we built out this editing suite, and we've got all the kit with racking behind us. I've got a pod mic in front of me. We've got a lovely camera, and I'm just feeling, and even if I don't know if it works, because there's no tangible or measurable result as to whether that works, is there? But all I get at the moment is comments. It's like, whoa, is that your student? That looks cool. And it just trust. They think you know what you're doing.
So I would argue that there is a tangible result.
Yeah, really.
So in my world, I'm started off freelance, now a business owner.
Yeah.
I deal with a lot of freelancers as well who come to me and they say, I can't get clients. But you've just answered the call and I can see a cereal bowl in the background, an unmade bed, and you've left your TV on.
Yeah.
And no disrespect, not everybody has a good setup, but a quick, was it £100 back? Them better. £100 backdrop, which a grey backdrop instantly improves it. There's a tangible result. If you're not getting results through your podcast or through your content, either you're not delivering value, you're not packaging it correctly in a way which looks appealing. And that goes for you as well, how you look, how you present yourself. And you're not getting conversions. That's why you're not getting conversions, because you're not the full package.
Yeah. Some harsh realities out there for the people.
It just is though. I'm not saying I'm dressed better than anybody or whatever, but if I went onto a call and I was in a vest and in my shorts eating cereal, are you really going to hire me?
I implore you to do that as a social experiment.
I'll do it next time.
I would love that.
Yeah, sure.
Episode 2, right? This might not be a question for you, but there's people like to get the most out of their content. And I think people like to squeeze things. And we're always about that with podcasts. We're like, you've got blog posts here, you've got LinkedIn articles, you've got bits and bobs. How can people get more mileage out of their YouTube content?
So this is something that I also help with brands as well. With your podcast, you've done an hour-long podcast. Let's say your business, you've done an hour-long podcast and you're confident that hour-long podcast has consistent value. What you do then is you clip that. We talked about chapters. You've asked questions, specific questions, and you've moved on to a specific thing. You would take that full podcast and then you would clip it into separate clips which answer a specific question or generate curiosity. So like the one thing that YouTube SEO gurus get wrong, that's going to be interesting for a business owner who's just employed a YouTube SEO guru, and I hate that word guru, and they're like, hang on, I've just hired that person. What's this other person saying?
Yeah.
There's the curiosity. So you've got multiple questions and multiple answers within an hour-long podcast that you could clip and put as separate videos on YouTube with a different thumbnail, different title, and appeal to a different audience. The comedian podcast world, they do it exceptionally well. They get an interview, and then what they'll do is they'll clip 10, 15, 20 different 3, 4, 5 minute clips from that, and then generate more views. And some of those smaller clips will get exponentially more views than the full podcast.
Yeah.
So you've got mileage there. And then you could clip it, create shorts as well. Shorts is not a massive conversion strategy, but it's a very good, what's the word I'm looking for here? getting attention.
It piques the interest.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's interesting. What did that person say about that? Okay, I'll watch that short.
Yeah.
And then
they'll almost click through to the full video. That's the other thing actually about YouTube, which I don't think enough people know, is that it's one of the few platforms on the shorts front where you can actually directly backlink to the full video within the interface.
You can. Now, so I'm going to say something pretty controversial here, but shorts are not a good growth metric. And in my whole experience of working across YouTube, shorts has only been within the past 3 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Some of those shorts for the clients that I work with to get hundreds of thousands of views, some of them millions of views, and they'll have 100 clicks to the main video. That's what you're better off doing, is you're having a decent clip which sits on a full version video, full fat video on the YouTube channel, and then having a link to the description and then click to your website or your offering. That's the best. That's if you were going to put money into podcasting, go for clips.
Yeah. Another harsh reality. I think a lot of people, vanity metrics is what.
Absolutely. And vanity metrics, and it's an unfortunate thing. So I spoke to someone who actually worked at YouTube and worked on that project. And actually, I better not give that away, actually. I might get in trouble.
Ooh, almost.
Yeah. But take it from me, YouTube is not a good, shorts are not a great growth metric for business.
No, they add another stage to the funnel.
100%.
Which is not always needed. It's the short to a full video or a longer clip to then generate into business.
Yep.
Whereas, you're better off spending the energy and the time on the full fat clips that are a bit more kind of 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
With those. Because people are still the problem is, Lee, is everyone thinks that attention spans are shot, and they are to a degree, aren't they? But I mean, what is YouTube like? The number one, didn't it come out the other day that it's number one and number two kind of streaming platform on televisions now? People are using it more.
Oh, absolutely. And we see it with clients that we work in. Maybe like 40% of the specific clientele watch it on TV.
Yeah.
So the other thing is as well is, here's something, if you are in the positive position of monetizing your channel, the longer your video, the more ads you can serve on that video. And what tends to happen is, and then a lot of people disagree on whether this is an actual thing, but I've got the data to show that it is a thing. The more ads that you've got on it, and the longer the video, as long as it's providing value, the more it gets pushed. That's a bit of a harsh reality as well.
Yeah.
YouTube say it doesn't happen, but I've got data to show that it does happen. So
yeah, goodness.
Controversial, flipping the table there.
Lee, I could talk to you all day. As we kind of wrap up and we come to the end of this incredibly insightful episode, I know I'm walking away with a lot.
Well, you're welcome.
What would you say is one thing that B2B marketers right now can do that is actionable that will change their YouTube strategy?
I'll give you two things. The first thing you need to do, which requires very little lift and very little effort in terms of no additional filming, is go to your storefront, again, the front of your YouTube channel, and make that look as clean as possible, brand it up nicely, but have it very clear what the benefit is that you provide. You'll see at the top of YouTube, there's a banner. Most people fill that with either a nice picture or their brand name. I would urge you right now to change it to, we solve X problem for Y person. So when somebody comes to your YouTube channel, they can see, right, okay, I'm in the right place or I'm in the wrong place. And then you know exactly you want to get the right people. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to really think about what you're doing with your podcast. Why are you doing this podcast? Think about the one problem. Again, we solve X problem for Y person, and create a strategy around that specific person and the value that you can give them. Not how good you are, the value you can give them. That's what I would suggest.
Brilliant. And I think me and you had a conversation on LinkedIn once, or exchanged comments at least, about these ridiculously complex explanations that businesses have for what they do. We create solutions-based technological advancements to, sorry, what?
Yeah, exactly. I solve X problem for Y person.
It's as simple as that.
That's all it is.
30-second elevator pitch. Who you are, what do you do, how can you help people?
I help businesses and organizations get better at YouTube and earn more money out of the videos that they create. If you want to find me, you can get me on LinkedIn. Just search for Lee Glynn. I'm the guy with the guitar.
Perfect. An expert. You help a lot of our clients. We work with you. No, you don't. Hang on. We work with you on a few clients' bases, and all we've seen is the benefits of your service, and our content wouldn't perform well without your strategy, I believe.
Oh, it's very kind, but it's synergy.
Let's use a
we bring the
quality
buzzword.
though, you bring the strategy, right? And it comes together, and they're two separate services. And I think when you've got two specialists at what they do, you're going to get a much better result than generalists.
Absolutely. I would absolutely agree. Unfortunately, we've worked in big companies and stuff before. A marketing person gets lumped with a YouTube channel, doesn't know how to work with it. I would implore you to work with specialists where you can.
Lee, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you today. I already know that there's an episode 2 inbound. You're a fountain of knowledge in the YouTube world, and we know we appreciate you a lot, and it's an honor to work with you. And great to have you here today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Lee.